All right, we are live, and we are joined by 2D and 3D artist Moritz Knauder, and we're pleased to have him today. And thank you very much for joining us, Moritz.
Yeah, thank you as well. Hi, my name is Moritz, or Mo for short. I am a 21-year-old digital artist from Austria. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Gravity Sketch for having me today. And yeah, really excited. So let's do this.
Awesome. Well, it's going to be a good one. We're just going to look at some of Moritz's work and things that he's done in the past, and then sort of halfway through, and you're going to let us know, Moritz, when you want to switch over. We're going to go and move right into VR, and we're going to look at we're going to be looking at some of your work that you've been doing recently in VR. So
Cool.
that'll be great.
Yeah.
Um, so first off, I want to say for everybody that's watching, feel free to ask any questions during the live in the live chat. I'll be keeping my eye on that, and I'll ping some questions over to Moritz if you have any for him. But yeah, please don't be shy. Ask any questions you'd like, and as well as any questions for Gravity Sketch. I'll try my best to answer them. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Jaron Dorman, and I'm the design community manager here at Gravity Sketch. And I talk with all of you and interact with the amazing artists and designers out in our community. So it's a pleasure to interact with all of you. And again, thank you, Moritz, for joining us. So I just want to kick off just an introductory question towards you. Can you just tell us a little bit more about yourself and how your love of art began and love of art and design, like how that all got started?
Yeah, so that's probably the origin story of every designer ever.
Yeah.
But I really liked to draw as a kid. So I loved it, and thinking back, I probably just liked it a little bit more than the other kids, and that's sort of the reason why I never stopped drawing. And yeah, I'm also really fortunate to have very supportive parents that always provided me and were very accepting of my art. And yeah, thank you, Dad, for this cool childhood. So yeah, but there was one moment I distinctly remember. I was about 10 years old, and this was the first time I got in contact with concept art, and I watched my first FCD episode. So FCD, stands for Wangzhou Design. I mean, I don't really need to introduce him, but if you don't know who Wangzhou is, he's basically the guy that popularized concept art on YouTube. And yeah, I saw him when I was 10 years old, and I just thought, wow, this is so cool that you can make a career out of this and draw cool stuff for a living. And yeah, then I started to look more into it and watched a lot of tutorials, and yeah, started to be a little bit more conscious about my art and yeah, serious. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can actually relate on the Feng Zhu thing because, when I was in school, one of my professors saw my interest in like entertainment and things like that, and like robots and stuff, and asked me if you had ever seen Feng Zhu stuff on YouTube, and I was like, no, and that sent me down a crazy path. So, yeah, it's interesting because it seems like you have like that traditional design background, but you made this pivot, this interest into entertainment, and like the concept art world. Did you feel like the concept art world then allowed you to be more creative and express what was really like in your passions, like in your heart as an artist?
Yeah, I think it's it has to do with I have these main two interests. One is technology and one is art. So for me, naturally, doing 3D and doing sort of concept art was really the sweet spot. And I think in terms of drawing, I'm very like a technical guy. I like really constructing tight constructions of perspective and all that. I'm really into that. And I also think that concept art in general is more you have more, of course, you have more freedom. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah. There's somebody that asked you a question about your printer there in the background. Do you often go from VR to 3D printing?
Yeah, I'm not directly yet, but I have a couple of 3D printing videos on my channel. If you want to check those out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just love the 3D printer because it's also one of these technologies that makes 3D real, that connects it to the real world.
Right.
And yeah, it's just amazing.
Well, I have my printer here in the background. Actually, I just got, and
yeah.
So if there's anybody wondering, you can definitely 3D print with Gravity Sketch. But we're going to be making some more tutorials on that soon because I know that there's some people in the community that have been asking about that. But well, that's just great, and it's. I mean, I would relate as well. Like concept art kind of helped me. Helped me with my interests as well with technology and design and all of that. So I totally understand like that journey and everything. I want to know how you discovered Gravity Sketch and what was that journey in finding and discovering it, and how you realizing you could use it in your workflow.
Yeah, so my first interaction with Gravity Sketch was a post from Scott Robertson, actually, on Instagram, where he designed this really awesome car. And in the caption he wrote, yeah, this was entirely designed in VR. And at the time, I had tried out programs like Tilt Brush before, but I never knew that you actually could do such a tight model inside VR. So... And
wow.
Last Christmas, as the Quest came out, I just went to the store with a friend of mine and bought it, and we had downloaded Gravity Sketch and had a really, really mind-altering evening.
Wow, that's amazing. So, and that's cool. It's Scott Robertson, is a tremendous, obviously very well-known designer and artist in the entertainment industry and design industry. Also, at least in the industrial design world, very well known for his rendering books. His how to draw and how to render books are huge. But
there they are.
Yeah, no, I have mine in the background as well.
All the trophies propped up.
Yeah. Exactly. So if any of you like want to know how to draw in perspective or how know the principles of rendering, definitely go check out those books. We can link those to those in the description as well. I'll also say too that we're linking to Moritz's channels in the description. So if you want to check him out on YouTube or Instagram, follow those links. But
thank you.
Yeah, it's an amazing. I'm always interested in hearing people's journey on how they discovered VR and how they came across Gravity Sketch and how they just even accepted VR into their work, because believe it or not, I mean, there's quite a few people out there that still think VR is mostly video games and.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Every time I post something on Reddit about VR, someone comments like, this is not really a 3D program. Yeah, this is not 3D modeling. Yeah, I mean, have you seen the stuff people put out in this? This is crazy. This is totally the future. I mean, you guys get that all the time, I think. But if you tried it, there's no denying that this workflow has a huge advantage. Yeah.
Absolutely, and we're discovering all the time the advantages. It's a constant state of discovery for us. So, and one thing I'll say too is we really listen to feedback. So, anybody out there listening, if there's something that you would like to see in Gravity Sketch and something that you think could make it better, please send us a message and give us your feedback, because we do read that stuff. We do listen.
That's really cool of you.
Yeah. So, well, I want to move on, and I want to go into some of your work, because I know that that's probably a lot of what people want to see. So, I know you had some work prepared that you wanted to show. Did you want to go through some of that?
Yeah, let's do this. So let's just quickly share my screen. Let me tell you. Tell me if you see it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. So yeah, let's start off with some concept art I did for a short film. This is about a company that is able to bring people back from the dead, basically through this operation table. And this on the right here is sort of a storage device for your memories. So here's just a 3D version of that and a little bit more of the concept. And so basically, if you happen to die, they clone you and put your memories from that hard drive basically back into your clone, and you can live on and continue your life. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's that about.
What film was this done for?
Just a college project.
Oh wow, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So this is was this then your own film project that you designed the asset for then in this case?
Yeah. We
cool.
We use these assets in the animation. There's a scene where he gets rolled in and those arms operate on him kind of. And yeah, there's, and unfortunately not online yet, but I was thinking about putting it somewhere. But yeah, let's move on. This is something I already talked about to you off stream. This is a storyboard we did for a contest for Spotify, where we had this idea of a commercial, and this was really cool in VR. To just place these mannequins around. This would be so much work in traditional or conventional 3D program, and yeah, it helped me to just get this out in a couple of hours. Really, this was really cool. Yeah,
that's really cool. So you set up your scene in VR, and then you just took shots with the screenshot tool.
Exactly. And I also think it's I really like the digital camera inside Gravity Sketch, the screenshot tool. It's really, it brings in your kind of your photography knowledge.
Yeah, you can choose like the lens and depth of field and all of that, which is really cool.
Depth of field, it's really cool interface there. Yeah. And moving on, we slowly, getting into the mech robot territory here. This is just me experimenting with these designs here and studying the materials to put them on this guy. And yeah, next up we have this droid that I modeled for a short story that I wrote. And there are a couple of these in this series, and the reason why he looks the way he does with all these soft overhangs is because we actually printed this guy in clay.
Oh wow!
This is kind of a crazy idea, but it eventually it fell and broke, but it looked cool for a while. And
wow,
it was
you
really
printed
cool.
in clay. That's so cool.
Yeah. Really cool.
What kind of machine is that extrudes clay?
Yeah, that's a huge, like a huge 3D printer, like a delta shape, you
Yeah.
know, and it just extrudes noodles of clay and works like a 3D printer. And
Wow.
then you put it in an oven and burn it, and yeah, that's it.
I'm assuming that after you print it, you could probably continue working with it, like with your fingers, your
Yeah,
hands, smoothing
it's
it.
soft. Yeah.
That's really cool. Wow.
Okay, so
It's like a smaller version of like 3D printing houses.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the same. I think it's the same technology there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is also a character of the same short story universe. His name is Paul. I actually have a video on my channel if you're interested in how I did go about making him. And yeah, here is his concept sheet. The idea of this robot was basically that he has an AI core, and you can take it out and plug it in another device like a crane or something, and then he would operate the crane for you. So it has a
Very
kind of
cool.
modular design to it. This is also a droid, and the backstory behind this one is he kind of went out of control. He went, he met the singularity, so to speak, and his core was removed. But the split second that he had this infinite intelligence, he calculated the future. And so he's basically a fortune teller in this world and knows about stuff that is going to happen. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Are you
Yeah.
using what other tools are you using to create some of this work? So obviously it's not all Gravity Sketch. Like what
No.
are some of your tool sets?
So this is Blender. This is basically all done in Blender. Here I used ZBrush for the initial form shape finding and
Yeah.
design, and yeah, here's just some Substance Painter for the textures, and yeah, but it's pretty much all done inside Blender. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
So, and this is a more recent piece that I submitted to the Corridor Digital Weekly Challenge, and it actually made a place there, so it actually won. And this is also
That's awesome.
also done it. Yeah, I also am trying to put out a video on this. We actually filmed the whole thing and and it was really cool that the Corridor guys reacted to our renders, and yeah, video coming up soon, hopefully this week. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
really excited about that.
Yeah,
And
I
now,
follow that channel, so maybe we can link to that
Yeah.
as well in the description.
Yeah, and this, of course, the my design that I made in Gravity Sketch. So these are the renders I made inside Blender of this guy. So just
Yeah, that's really really
Couple
cool. Yeah, well, that's what initially
perspectives.
caught my attention on your Instagram was when you posted this mech robot, and I was like, wow, that's really fascinating, and just had to reach out and find out more of your process and how you approached and how you made this, which is I think what we'll be getting into here very soon in VR. I just want to
Yeah.
ask you just one more question before we kind of move more into VR and look at your process. I want to know how you, as a young designer, young artist, see VR changing the way we create and express our ideas, like in the future, in the industry of design, industry of entertainment. What are your thoughts on that?
I think this is going to be a really huge thing. I imagine this being used in productions to collaborate in real time in VR. I imagine like having digital movie sets where like landscape artists and the set dressers all model and design the set in real time together. And I think this is, I mean, this is amazing. This is some Tony Stark level technology. I mean,
Yeah, it's not far off.
yeah.
You're totally right. Well, I have another good question for you. This is from Hannah Alice on the live chat here, asking. She says, to me, it looks like you're an all-rounder. How do you manage to keep on going with your art and all the different programs? So I think, like, how do you continue keeping all of your attention on all the things that you do, the 3D modeling, the art, all the tools that you use?
Yeah, I know where this is coming from. It's really difficult sometimes because I feel like the more I 3D model, the worse my drawing skills get, and the more I draw, the worse my 3D skills get. Sometimes you always have to kind of try to put in the work where you need it. But I'm really not settling yet. I try to experiment with as many programs and as many workflows that I can. So yeah, it's also part of the fun for me in this whole creative field. Yeah, that you can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that makes sense. I mean, it's a balance, right? And I feel like in this day and age, there's so many tools. There's so many ways to do things out there. It's easy to get lost in the tools, and lost in
yeah,
just
definitely
all the things out there.
I've been there before.
The best advice I've ever received was just like, at the end of the day, all the tools are good. There's no tool that's better or worse or whatever. They all have their things that they do. Find those maybe one or two tools that work for you and spend your time learning those, focusing on those, and you can then just, then you won't have to worry about, the tools, just you can be creative and create. Obviously,
that's true, yeah.
I think there's probably a balance there too with paying attention to maybe some new tools that are, emerging, revolutionary type tools that sort of change the game, but and sort of a general philosophy, just don't get too distracted with all the tools out there, because at the end of the day, they all are great. You just have to focus on what works for you best.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I actually, can I ask you something too now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Question? Because I think a lot of people are interested in this, and so it's the co-creation mode. Mm-hmm. Basically, when is it's going to be available, or when is it? Yeah,
that's
just tell
question.
Me about it.
Yeah, we've definitely received that question a lot. So as it stands now, for anybody that's wondering, co-creation is actually, we're going to be jumping to co-creation very soon here together in VR. But basically, it's a function we have in Gravity Sketch where two people or more, potentially a large amount of people, can join into one Gravity Sketch space and sketch together on the same model, take each other's sketches and work on them in the same space, as well as talk to each other.
It's the holodeck, basically.
What's that?
It's the holodeck.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have this feature, and we currently only offer it to businesses and educational institutions. So if you're a student right now and you're watching, or a professor and you want to use this feature, just reach out to us at gravitysketch.com through our education button, and we will be able to set something up. If you're an individual, which is what I think, Moritz, what you're asking about, currently we won't offer co-creation to individuals, but we do have the intention of offering that in the future. So that is something we would like to do, but there's quite a bit of a technical challenge we have to solve with that first. Because as some of you may know, that servers and things like that, and transferring all that data constantly is quite a feat. So But it is something that we would like to provide to individuals in the future. There's just no official date on that yet.
Okay.
But yeah, it is in the minds of the team here, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a good question. We get that a lot. So, yeah, stay tuned for updates and things like that. I can say this is, I think, the first time we're saying this on anywhere on our channels, actually. But some of you may have been following our Gravity Sketch, our new iPad app, and we plan to be releasing that sooner than you think. So we've been saying this year, this and that, but if any of you have been waiting on the iPad app, that will be coming very soon. I'm not going to quite say which month yet because I need to double check, but it will be much sooner than you think. So that's some exciting news. And go watch our iPad videos on our highlights in our Instagram account if you want to see more of that. But anyway, back to you, Moritz. Some good questions there. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into VR and look at how you built this robot and take a look at that process.
Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
Bear with us for a minute, everyone. We're going to switch over. Let's see here. Okay. Right, I'm just going to transfer the video feed. All right. So we're in this room that Moritz made, and we'll wait till he joins us so you can explain it. But Moritz put this together for us today, and he's going to go through his process and show how he went, the process he took creating this robot. So this will be really great. Got some reference imagery, final renders. Let's see here.
Okay, I'm joining right now.
Perfect.
I can see you. You're pretty huge up there.
Oh, there you are. I was like, where are you? There you are. Perfect.
Okay.
And Moritz, why don't you go ahead and do something for me real quick? Can you
Yeah.
see my menu right now?
No, I can't see your menu.
Let's see. What about now? Can you see it now?
No.
It might take a minute because we've done this before and it takes a second. But we have a new feature in co-creation.
Oh, now
you
I can.
can see
Now
it.
I see it.
So you should be able to see my UI. If you go to down to online users and you go over to share UI and just turn that switch on, I'll be able to see any menus that you pull up.
Yeah, share your eyes on.
Perfect.
Okay.
So, well, why don't you just go ahead and take it away, Moritz, and explain your process that you took to make this.
Okay, so first off, you start and get a bucket of reference from ArtStation or Pinterest or whatever inspires you, and then you start out with the sketch, and this is exactly what I did here. I started sketching out my proportions, and yeah, the sketching in VR is really a cool thing for me because I always struggled to directly design in 3D. So this is really, I like always had to do a little napkin sketch in beforehand, but this is really cool for me to do my shape development and the model in the same space. So yeah, that's the next step is, just grabbing the surface tool and getting in some surfaces, jump into edit mode, and try to build up these forms that you establish with the sketch. And here and there, I'm grabbing like primitives, like cylinders. You can see here, I'm using a lot of cylinders.
Yeah.
And I really tried to push the the sub-D aspect of Gravity Sketch here, with all these little cuts and details here on top, especially this little thing.
Yeah.
I remember I scaled in very, I made it very huge, and then went in with the knife tool and just
Wow.
added this. So yeah,
Yeah, it's great that you're
this
get
is
get those little small details in there. I was curious
yeah,
to see how you did that.
that's the and I think this goes back to the knife tool, because the knife tool is really powerful, and you can, as soon as you have a knife tool, you can basically do anything. So
Yeah.
it's really cool that you guys have that. And yeah, uh, and after that I just went, oh, by the way, these sleeves here are not done in Gravity Sketch.
Okay.
These are done in Blender, so don't get fooled by me. And yeah, then I exported everything and textured it in Substance Painter, and here over there you can see the final renders again. Yeah.
Yeah, so what was that process of taking your model from Gravity Sketch to Substance? Was it a pretty smooth process?
Yeah, you have to do some cleanup work, especially with the NURBS. But it wasn't too bad. I mean, the sub-D surfaces are as they are in Gravity Sketch. They're clean right away. You can just hit unwrap and it basically works right away. It's really cool. It's really even on the, I mean, I didn't do this on the desktop version. It's all on the Quest, so really powerful, really impressive that you can pull, because this is not like a light model. I think this has quite a lot of detail.
Right.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's so what did you use NURBS for? I'm curious.
The NURBS, I really like this. I primarily use them for the cables. And this is also
yes.
something that's so cool about having this in VR. And yeah, that you can just draw in the cables. Because in a conventional 3D program, you always have to, adjust it and snap to some grid to get it right. But here you can just like get the NURB tool and boom, sketch it in there, put it in, scale it or whatever.
Right.
It's so immediate, and yeah, feels really cool.
Yeah, totally. I would agree. Just drawing, any kind of pipe shape or curve. I mean, VR is probably the best way to do that. It's very finicky to do in 2D software. So I totally can see that. Well, I'd love to know about some of your reference too. I see some iconic stuff over here. Can you talk about a little bit, just some of your reference and why you picked this style?
So I basically picked this because it had a lot of dynamic shapes. I mean, this guy is all over ArtStation. He does amazing. Unfortunately, I forgot his name, so I can't really speak intelligently about him. But do you know his name?
I don't.
Okay. Okay. So, but anyways, this.
Maybe someone in the chat knows. We can check. It's okay.
Okay. So yeah, just to get inspired, and the really important thing in mech design are the joints. So if you see a cool joint mechanism, make a screenshot of that and put it in your reference folder, because that is where the details are.
Yeah. So you were looking at joints and details, and that's what really inspired you by these.
Yeah, especially this one with the pistons for the shoulder blades. I think this really looked cool, and you can see it kind of transferred over to my design here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I really like the connections that you've designed here for like the shoulder. I haven't quite seen it like that before. So it's a pretty unique design, just from what I've
Yeah.
seen. Because I've seen a
I
lot
mean,
of mech stuff online.
thank
So
you. That's a huge compliment. Thank you.
yeah, it looks great.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I probably have to change some things because, you know, this has to be, this part could not work how it is now, right now. He probably can move his arm, but if, you know, in concept art, it's a little bit like, if it's believable enough, it's okay to do things like that sometimes.
And so you call this the beefy Wally. So did that come before or after? What was that? What was the
You know,
you know?
this is just my habit of calling my posts on Instagram something kind of stupid, and since you kind of kind of approached me, I felt like I had to stick with that name. But you know, it's obviously it. I chose this name because the head really reminds me of Wally. So
Oh yeah, totally.
uh,
I mean, I can definitely see it. You know, it's just I love it. If Wally, you know, if he did some, you know, went to the gym for a bit and, you know, took some protein drinks, this is maybe what he would look like. No, that's awesome. That's great. And so, was this project basically just a side project? It wasn't really for anything in particular. It was just having fun, and or were you trying to experiment in Gravity Sketch? What was the goal?
Yeah, this was just my first attempt on making the trying out the Subdi tool. This was, and it really amazes me myself. I talked about it in my video about this guy, because I could never design something right off at the top of my head without Gravity Sketch. I couldn't do it in another program because I can search for these interesting shapes, and I can feel the distance between it that well. You know, it's really awesome how this medium boosts your ability to think in 3D. That's really, yeah.
Yeah,
really
it's
amazing.
true. It's we've heard that a lot. Just form exploration seems to be a huge benefit of being in VR. That just otherwise, you know, in other tools, it's hard to do. There was someone that was saying they wanted to see the texture of this warp as I manipulate, but I think this model is let's see.
Well, what do they mean by that?
They were saying, you know, pull the model around with the texture. They wanted to see the texture warp as you pull the surfaces around.
No, that doesn't work like.
Yeah, I think this is a different kind of model, which is fine. There was just somebody on the chat, but that's okay. We don't have to worry about that. You can actually add textures in Gravity Sketch. I think maybe you probably already know this, but see if I can find a good texture. I don't know if I have. Let's see.
Oh, I can have my own stuff in here. Cool. I have a texture, you know.
Are you having one?
I have this pot from the pottery video.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's perfect. So now that he's brought that in, I can just select this, and now I can apply that texture to the model. Now, it doesn't exactly project onto it in the best way because there's not really any UV editing in Gravity Sketch yet. But yeah, let us know if that's something you'd like to have. For anybody watching, I personally think it'd be great. But I think yet again, that's another quite a technical thing to work out. So, but you can visualize rough textures. Yeah, well, that's perfect. See, in Gravity Sketch.
Yeah, really, really cool, and awesome that you implemented that, because this allows for so much nuance in the texturing, because you actually can use it as a brush too.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'll select that. So we have this brush texture. I believe this comes with Gravity Sketch. Um, and all you have to do is, since it's now in your scene, you can select it as a texture, and you begin sketching with it. You can change the color, and just
really
doing it whatever you
cool.
want. So now you have like a textured brush. So definitely a lot of fun things you can do with that. And so you can make all kinds of custom. So one of the key things you need if you want to do something like this is you need to import it as a PNG with a transparent background, so that the texture doesn't have any white backgrounds along with it, so you can like see through it. So that's the tip I'll give there. But
Okay.
I think we've only scratched the surface as far as the applications for textures. We just recently had a challenge with Keyshot, and one of the finalists created an entire presentation space and used just tons of objects with textures with like
Yeah,
gradients on them, and
I saw it. I saw that.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. Check it out if anybody wants to see it. Check out our Gravity Dive. That I think it might be our latest Gravity Dive on our Instagram as well as on our TikTok. And check that out. It's quite amazing.
Do you let me ask you this, because you said UV mapping inside Gravity Sketch. Do you think that it would be possible to cram a fully like 3D package, like let's say Maya or 3ds Max into VR? Do you think that's at some point going to be possible?
I think it could be eventually possible for sure. It might even be. I'm not actually quite sure on the technical limitations right now, but I think it definitely would eventually be possible. I know with Gravity Sketch, we don't really have plans to be a full,
Yeah,
fully
I
packaged
imagine
modeling
it's
software like
not your
Maya.
intention. Yeah.
What we're more about is just allowing designers and artists to express and create their ideas as quickly and as uninhibited as possible. And so that's why we don't always just add all of the sub-D editing features that say like Blender or Maya has, because we don't want to bombard designers and artists with menus and tools, because I mean, if anyone watching that uses Blender or Maya knows that, I mean, the tools are endless, as far as using
That's true.
Sub-D and just like tons of stuff. There could be so many more things that are added just to using Sub-D in Gravity Sketch.
Yeah, that's true.
But we really try and limit and hone it down into the essence of what allows you to create something in VR and in 3D. And that's kind of the philosophy and mission that we have. And why we listen so closely to feedback, because we want anything that we add to Gravity Sketch to have the maximum amount of impact, the maximum amount of usability, and not bog people down, I guess, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
No, that's a really cool way just to keep the UI clean and the usability like properly in place. So I think that's a really good choice for Gravity Sketch that, yeah, you made. That's not too cluttered, as you said.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
yeah, Jaren, I gotta be honest with you. I smuggled something in here.
Okay.
Uh,
What is
Don't
it?
be. Oh, it's nothing weird. Don't worry. But I figured since I only can
Oh
use
wow, look at that.
co-creation inside gravity in during this interview, now I figured we could try this, and I would ask you if you would like to play a game of tic-tac-toe with me here
Yeah,
live
let's do
on
it.
stream.
I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna pick.
Have you ever done this before?
I've never. So we funny enough, the engineers did create a version of Gravity Sketch that is like Pictionary, yeah, it's like a functioning game inside Gravity Sketch.
Okay.
We might show some video of that in the future, but no, we've
Awesome.
never done anything like this before, or at least I haven't.
So this kind of this is officially the first documented game of tic-tac-toe inside Gravity
This is
Sketch.
it. This is the first one. All right, the pressure's on too. I gotta win. I gotta try and win here.
Okay.
So
let's see.
Do you want to make the first? You're the guest, so you make the first move.
Okay. All right. That's very kind. So I start off
All right.
like this, the corner, the corner move.
Okay. Very interesting. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Trying to
let's
strategize.
get this one in here.
All right. I know there's like.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Jaron. I'm really
Oh
sorry.
no! Oh no! Come on! Wait, does this count?
Oh.
Does that count?
I don't think so. This is not in the traditional rule book.
All right,
But-
I'll make my move. There you go.
Okay, so I'm damn. I should have made the
Awesome.
stakes higher.
Congratulations! Congratulations! I wish I had a sound effect right now. That's perfect. Wow, you definitely
Very
surprised me
cool.
with that one. My tic-tac-toe skills have not been. I have not practiced them in a while, so you definitely got me on that one. No, this is great. I also love this podium. This looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So did you?
I put a lot of effort into this joke. Yeah.
I know. I see that. Wow.
Please don't. It shouldn't be that distracting. I mean, please don't say this is better than my actual model. So.
No. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is great. It'd be kind of fun to include this in. I'm just thinking as an idea. It would be kind of
as a tradition on the stream.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think this is awesome. This would be great. We might
so
continue
great.
this.
This would be so great.
Well, what I was thinking is it would be cool to add this podium like in our gallery in the app, and people could open this up, and use it if they wanted. If you wanted to, if you were willing to share your model.
Yeah, of course. I would really like that.
Yeah. No, I love this. This is the first debut, the first live streamed tic-tac-toe in Gravity Sketch. I love it. Do you want to go? Let's go again. Let's go one more time.
Again, okay. Let's do it.
Get these off.
Delete our.
All right. I guess I make my move this time.
Yeah, and now it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for your corner move. Let's
Ah,
try
yeah, I
that.
see what you're doing. I see
Yeah.
what you're stealing my strategy right
Yeah.
away. Shameless. This is shameless.
I have a feeling you already know, like, how to win in each scenario. I feel like you kind of
No,
already know.
I swear I didn't
Okay.
intend to win at all.
Thinking hard.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go over here.
Now you got me in the. Now I got that advantage.
Okay.
I think this is going to be.
Just thinking. All right. If I went there, I'm just like planning. I'm playing all the scenarios in my head.
Having a Doctor Strange moment, seeing all the possible futures.
Yeah. Exactly. I wish I had the. What's the stone? What's it that he
The
has?
like time stone.
Yeah, we just like go back in time and like redo it. All right, I got to make my move. I am going to go. Let's see. Sheesh, I'm having a hard time. All right, I'm gonna go here.
Yeah, this is a draw. Oh no, you got me actually. I didn't saw it. Okay, but at least I can, get that mill thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to admit,
Congratulations.
thank you. I really have to be transparent. I have to say that was not planned. I definitely happened upon that. But you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna accept it. Thank you.
All right,
Well, that was really
cool.
fun. Yeah, it was really
Really
fun and
like it.
unexpected. People are saying, why not a cube for 3D tic-tac-toe? That's a good idea. 3D tic-tac-toe? I like that. We could totally
Oh
do
God,
that.
I started something, Jaren. Now you have to put it in the game, in the program.
Honestly, I think we're going to try and do some 3D tic-tac-toe next. I think that's a really good idea. Let's see.
It would be so cool.
Next time, make a Connect 4 for the next interview. Perfect. Yeah, I love that. Well, that was really fun. If you want to share your model with us, Moritz, I'd love to maybe
Yeah.
see if we can have that included in the gallery. I think people would
I
have,
like that,
have a
yeah.
fun time with this.
Really
This is
like
great. Somebody's asking. I want to answer this question. Somebody's asking. It would. Let's see. Like to have some sort of sculpting. You already have a point relaxer, which is a sort of sculpting. I would say if we had inflate, deflate. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Sculpting in Gravity Sketch is another technical sort of challenge that we'll have to get over. But we've definitely had that request a lot. So I think that's certainly something we could do in the future. But if anybody's wondering what they're talking about, basically, I'm going to convert this to sub D, and actually I'm going to change the material. But I can have like a soft select, and
Yeah.
oh, I'm actually not able to move it. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So I can like soft select these vertices and get some really nice results. And then they were talking about like the smooth tool. You can definitely relax these points, which is kind of like sculpting. It is, in a way. But sculpting in VR would be more something like Oculus Medium, where where you have
There are already programs that do that.
yeah,
So,
like voxel sculpting. So that could certainly be something. There's actually a little tip that we're going to be making an official video on this, but that I think not a lot of people know about. But if you go down here to the primitive shapes and you click subdivision object, it'll highlight to you the primitives that can be converted into a sub D object. And then additionally, if you go down here and switch on default primitive, this customized switch, if you switch that on, you'll be able to control the amount of edge loops and subdivisions in your primitive. So if I select the torus, for example, and I open that up, I have these sliders here, and I can move these sliders and control the amount of subdivisions on this sub D object. So I can control the amount of subdivisions on these different axes, and this works for multiple sub D objects. So I can go pick I can even just pick like a regular plane, and I can increase or decrease the amount of subdivisions. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
That's really cool.
so it's really useful, especially if you want to create like a perfect circle with a certain amount of subdivisions. Maybe you don't want like a bajillion subdivisions. You can have maybe like 6 or 7 or whatever. So it's a fun little trick. But we're going to be making a tip on that for next week, so more people can see that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jaren, what happens if you and I grab onto the same piece of geometry?
You can't quite do it. It won't let you.
Okay. So okay.
Because it has to decide what is manipulating it.
Okay.
So, but I think there is I think there might be something the engineers are looking into where there can be 2 people editing the same surface at the same time. I'm not quite sure on that, but as far as like basically 2 people being in edit mode and basically moving points around. So,
Wow.
But anyway, well, I just want to. It looks like we're about at time, so I just want to thank you very much, Moritz, for joining us today and for this really pleasant surprise. And
Yeah, thank you.
yeah,
It was a lot of fun
absolutely.
talking to you, and it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you everyone for joining us live. If you missed this in the beginning, this will be available right after we're done with the live, and so you can go watch in the beginning. Make sure you follow Moritz on YouTube and on his Instagram to check out more of his work. And yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and one last thing, I want to give a shout out to my little sister because it's her birthday today. So yeah.
Awesome. What's your sister's name?
Ida.
Ida. All right. Happy birthday, Ida.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Not all Gravity Sketch community knows your birthday.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Moritz, again. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Bye, everyone. See ya.
Bye.